You might notice that I've actually been uploading a little bit more recently, and that's for a good reason. You see, last year I decided that my resolution for this year would be to record and upload at least one video per month, so that I could say I have an active channel. So this video is not only made out of obligation to that, but it's also just been a video that I've wanted to make for a while, and have said that I would make, and have just kind of been procrastinating for too long. But today, that changes. The 6x6 vault door is typically a pretty neat accomplishment for any redstoner. It's not necessarily hard, depending on how you go about it, but any non-redstoner will see this and most likely be impressed. There are a lot of variations in piston layouts for vault doors, from perpendicular extenders to this weird diagonal thing, to just using slime, which this door does. This one in particular is very non-seamless about it, but that's a small price to pay for a door opening in just 3 piston moves. Now, wait a second. How fast is 3 piston moves? Well, we know that, for our purposes, 1 piston move on Bedrock Edition is about 4 game ticks. Though there are folded extenders as well, but I don't feel like getting into that when they're not relevant to this build. If you take 4 game ticks, with 1 game tick being 1/20th of a second, that simplifies to 1 piston move being 1/5 of a second. Fractions, stay with me here. That means that 3 piston moves are 3/5 of a second, which of course, if you divide that, is 0.6 seconds. This is definitely not the normal way that you would do the math in order to calculate the speed of a door, but I don't care. I got the right answer. So the door is 0.6 seconds on both opening and closing. That's great, right? Yeah, I think it's nice. So let's get into how to use this door before I show you how to make it. Otherwise, you might break it from trying to use it wrong. We wouldn't want that now, would we? So what is the right way to use this door? Well, it's all about the input. You see, this door is input bugged, meaning that if you power it with something like a comparator, repeater, redstone torch, observer, or anything like that, then it will have weird different timings all over the place and it won't function correctly as a result. I can go into more detail about input bug in another video if need be, but for now, all you need to know is don't power it with those components. Especially an observer. I don't know why you would do that. So in order to bypass this, what you will do is remove the input block and place a sticky piston facing up with a redstone block on its face, right under the block you just removed. Because moving a redstone block, or moving a block into a position where it is powered, will be input bugged. Why? I don't know. So now that you've done that, you can wire your input to this piston here so that the timings of the door itself are correct and you don't really have to worry about input bug. Just know that if you try to use a torch here instead of a piston, you will encounter the issue of input bug and the timings of the door will be wrong. And I have not tested if it breaks when you do that. So if it doesn't break, that's great, but the speed is going to be adversely affected. So please avoid doing this. Please just power it with the piston like I'm telling you to. If you want to wire another kind of input, that's okay too. Lever, pressure plate, button, tripwire. Just make sure you know what you're doing. And of course, if you break it, it doesn't work, or you just need help with an input, you can join my Discord server so that you can chat with me or other members about what you need or what you want to do, as well as if you'd like to show off your own builds in the showcase channel. Please do not try to use general as the showcase channel. Anyway, apologies for that detour talking about my Discord server. Let's have another one and talk about the history of this door. This is not the first iteration of this door. As a matter of fact, it's the third. The first iteration was actually a funnel door, meaning it was only one-sided, and was a whole layer way too big. But I can't deny the animation was pretty sweet. The second iteration was a proper vault door, and I actually made a TikTok about this. It was kind of cringe though, but it had one fatal flaw. A top input. Practically unusable for any normal person, because that is a nightmare to wire to, especially with the signal strength issue throughout this build. And now we reach the current iteration, my best version of the 6x6 vault door so far. Double-sided, max speed, bottom input, and pretty small for its speed to boot. All very ideal, but it's still kind of big. Then again, what do you expect from a 6x6 vault door? In the end, it's not a very bad thing, just mildly annoying, though not nearly as annoying as the first iteration. In order to actually wire the door, we need to have the layout in place, so let's start with that. The triples that take care of the center blocks are rather unique in their configuration, using 1 pull and 2 pushes for the extension, and the inverse for the retraction. Now the double, it's basically just your standard slime double in any speed door. It's really basic, but needed to make sure that all the blocks are in place within 0.6 seconds. And the singles, well, they're singles. There's not really much to explain here, unless you think that we're playing Java Edition for some reason. We're not. So with the layout explanation out of the way, let's actually start building the thing. So I was gonna record this, and then Flarial just kinda stopped working. So we're gonna have to do this the vanilla way. In order to get the layout into place, we first have to have a door for the layout to go on. So let's start with that. So I should probably give you a little bit of a demonstration of how the layout really works in action. For starters, we do have the L of slime, but on the opposite side of the door, we have that same thing made of honey. So these little L's take care of these center blocks, and of course they're simply upside down on the bottom, like so. And then we have this piston here, and these two here, which I need this for. I'm just great at this game, okay. So then what happens is retraction, retraction, and extension. And you can see it takes care of all of the bottom blocks that you would normally need a double piston extender for. So we only really technically have 4 doubles in this entire build. For set doubles, you simply put 2 slime here, and right here you have a sticky piston, right here as well. These take care of these 2 blocks that aren't actually grabbed by the doubles, and then behind them you have 2 normal pistons and 2 sticky pistons, but of course these are extended at the moment, so that they can go like this. These pistons make these blocks flat with the wall, and then of course these singles take care of these blocks which are jutting out. And then the triples take care of the rest of the blocks. Like so. Very nice if I do say so myself. Now of course, we do have some obsidian here and here, and of course there. And the same thing applies to the bottom, obsidian on each side, and 1 on the floor. This can be any block that is not moved by slime or honey, so do with that what you will. Generally, I prefer to make my piston doors out of iron, but if you want to build it out of a different block, I'm not going to stop you. The bottom is literally just 2 lines of single pistons. Just pretend I didn't do that, and there. And of course, that's just that. Stop that. This, all of that. And just like that. And then these. See? And just like that. So this is what one side of the layout looks like. But then, of course, yeah. Okay. So once all is said and done, your hallway should start to look the way that mine does. Unless you're building with different blocks than me, but other than that, they should be in the same pattern. Now, your door blocks don't necessarily have to be different from your wall blocks, that's just how I like to do things. And of course, in order to actually make this thing double-sided, you simply repeat this side onto this one. So something along these lines, and then something like that. You simply just get in another double with these singles, and of course go up here, and you just need the line of singles like so, and your door blocks, and then just throw your door blocks all over the place. You could do it like that if you really want to flex, but I'm sure you can figure out how to place those blocks. I believe in you. And just like that, we have basically all of our layout in place. Actually, that is our entire layout. And of course, we want to get rid of these redstone blocks so that we can actually wire this thing. You can literally just remove the redstone blocks, because these things are going to be powered by torches later anyway. So, for now, it's going to look like this. Which, yeah, not fun to look at, but it's just part of the process. Just trust the process. The resources in my hotbar are basically all you're going to need to actually make the thing. Firstly, you want to go under the front of the build and go to this side here, and that's going to be your input block right there. So we're going to put a lever on it for now. Just, you know, make sure your lever actually works, I guess. And then we're going to start wiring. So, for now, this is what we've got. And to connect to the back, we just do that. And throw dust all over these blocks. And that's just all of the singles on the bottom, because taking care of singles is extremely easy when they're not blocked off by a bunch of other stuff. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come to the right side where the input is closer. Yes, putting the input on the right side was intentional. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to place a block and then a dust on it. And then we're going to place a target block off of that dust with a torch on top. And then a torch on the side. And then, of course, a block here, a block down, remove the temporary, and replace it with a repeater. Then put a block in front of the repeater, and a piston facing toward the back here. Yeah, I just doubted myself for a moment. I should stop doing that. And then put a redstone torch right here on the back of this piston. It will turn off, and of course, that's not going to interfere with anything. Then you're going to place a block here, and another block going up, and just keep doing that. I keep having to double check. Now, along these 3 blocks, you're going to place dust, and then go up another one using the dust to place the block. That way you don't have to do the temporary thing. And then just 2 blocks like so. Dust like that. And then you're going to place a couple pieces of obsidian like so. You'll notice that this triple is now fully retracted, but the top one isn't. And we'll get to that, trust me. But first, you're going to place a repeater right here and a piece of dust off the side of that slime block, or on this obsidian, or whatever. Just not there, that would be dumb. And then you're going to place 2 pieces of glass like so, and another one here. Then a solid block here, and a dust going up on each side, and 2 3-tick repeaters like so. So then you're going to place a piston right here, and you're going to place a torch off of the side of it. Then you're going to place a block off the side of said torch, and a transparent block on top of said torch, and then dust on both of those blocks, and then a block here, and one here, and dust on top of both of those. And this will connect to this piston here. And of course, speaking of these singles, we actually go back down here and place a block right here with a dust on it. And you'll see it will redirect into that piston. And on that note, we're going to repeat this process on the other side of the door. We're going to place a piston here and a torch. Solid block, transparent block, dust like so, block, block, and dust on both. Then you're going to place a solid block here and a piece of dust on it. And you'll see these pistons extend. And of course, come back to the other side and do the same thing. You'll see these extend. That is the desired result. Now, in order to finally fully retract this triple piston extender, i.e. extend this piston, we are going to need one more piece of obsidian, and we're going to place it right here. Then we're going to place a dust, 2 blocks like this, 2 pieces of dust like so, and then a redstone torch here, and you'll see this piston will extend, which means this side will finally be fully open. Now, you might notice something. There seems to be a block missing here. And that's because I made a mistake earlier in the tutorial. So yes, you're going to put a door block right there, and you're going to do the same thing on the bottom here. And of course, repeat this process on the other side, 1 and 2. Then you're going to come back over here, and you're going to finish your work. You're going to place a repeater right here, and a block in front of it. And then dust and a block here, and then dust here, and a block on each side like this, and a line of dust in between those blocks. Now, even though this dust does not look like it is directed into this block, it actually is, because this game is dumb. So this block will receive power, even though it looks like it shouldn't. Which means, yeah, that's the entire top taken care of. This dust has to be here, you can't remove it, otherwise you can't power this piston. And now, that should actually just be the entire right side. And it looks like it is. Double check the other side. It is not. And that's because we missed one line of dust. So we're going to put that in now. Block, dust, and then go a block up here, and another block up here with a piece of dust. And that will take care of that piston. And then we can go to the other side and make sure we remember that when we build this side. Now, open this door again, and we begin working on this side of the door. Now, you're going to do the exact same thing on this side, except for some of the stuff right here is going to be different. So, for the most part, this will be the same, other than a couple key details regarding powering this piston. So we're going to start by placing a block here with a dust on it, and a target block with a torch on top. That'll take care of the strip piston extender, and you'll see it's finally fully retracted. And when we get to this one, you're going to celebrate. And then you're going to place a torch here, and a block off of it, a block down, and replace the top one with a repeater. Then you're going to place a block off of said repeater with a piston facing this way. It can also face this way, it's not really relevant. I like to place it this way. Then place a torch here, you'll see it turn off, and then you're going to wire past all of this, like so. And then one more up. One final step up, then a block here, a dust, 2 pieces of obsidian, a repeater, and a dust on the obsidian. Then you're going to place 2 transparent blocks, 1 transparent and a solid, and then dust on these 2, and 2 3-tick repeaters, like so. They're on 3 ticks because of input bug. Then we're going to place 2 pieces of obsidian like so, and a piston facing up on each side, a torch on each piston, and a block down here with a dust on it on each side. And you'll see these pistons extend, which is the desired result. Then you're going to place a block off of the side, a transparent block off of the top, and the dust on each, and of course repeat what you did on the other side of the build, and place dust like so on these blocks here. And of course, same thing on this side, solids, transparent, dust on all of that, a block here, and a dust on top. Now, the interesting thing about this side is that it's kind of dumb. So we actually need a target block here, and one final piece of dust, which is actually going to be right here on a piece of obsidian. You're going to place a dust there, and you're going to place a torch here. And that should actually be the entire build, unless I am crazy. It turns out I was crazy, I forgot about the bottom piston again. So we're going to place a block here, a dust, a block, dust, block, dust, block, dust. And that's going to reach this final piston. And then we're going to come around to the front, and we're going to test it. We're going to close the door. And I missed that one. I'm so good at this game. So, all you need to do here is just place another block and another piece of dust like that, and you'll see that piston extend. And then retract it all, and you should see that all of the blocks move the way that you want them to, meaning that this door is complete. Alright, so one final thing to take into consideration is that if you want to wire any sort of other input to this, all you have to do is remove the input block, and then place a block here, sticky piston facing up, with a redstone block on its face, and now all you have to worry about is powering this sticky piston. So you don't even have to think about input bug, so long as you use a sticky piston like this. And then all you have to do is just connect this to anything. Just power that sticky piston, and you power your door. And now I will actually leave it to myself in the editing room in order to do the full outro. There were a number of things I wanted to talk about regarding the future of this channel and whether or not I think I should continue. I have plenty of ideas for builds that I could make full videos about, but I don't always have the time, or more importantly, the energy to actually execute those ideas, and ultimately they just end up sitting in a text doc on my phone, waiting their turn to be made into a video. With my habits ever changing, as you can tell from this B-roll video, I've been doing a lot more PvP and PvP related content as a result, and haven't really done much redstone all that recently anymore. Only really making 1 or 2 things periodically rather than the almost daily builds I used to make when I wasn't doing PvP at all. I know that the majority of my subscribers, few as they may be, are not here for PvP, but they're here for Bedrock Edition Redstone. So I've thought of 1, or maybe 2 things I can do about that. I want to make a second channel, and I'm going to dedicate that channel to non-Redstone related content, from PvP on servers to even SMP style videos if I ever invest that much time into actual survival again, which isn't likely. But the idea behind the second channel is still inherently tied to Minecraft, and that's where the second thing comes in. I talked about this in a now unlisted video, but I'm just going to talk about it again here. I want to make a third channel that focuses on non-Minecraft related content, from other games to discussions about anime and TV that I like and want to bring attention to. I think that I come up with some pretty good video ideas here and there, and I already have the first videos for each of these channels thought out in my head, and have even started writing a script for the anime video that I would want to start the third channel with. But I won't spoil that for you. Maybe you'll be lucky and see it on your feed. Who knows? The main thing I want to achieve by telling you this at the end of this video is calling attention to the fact that this channel is going to remain a Redstone channel from now on. But I might not be able to keep that 1 video a month promise, especially with how things are panning out in my real life, with me being far more busy than I ever would have liked to be, there's just so many niche things that I'm a part of, and YouTube doesn't like it when you leave your established niche because your existing subscribers who came for one type of content aren't going to stay when you do something completely different, especially when your account is fairly small like mine. That's basically an instant death sentence. So in the future, I'm going to be uploading any sort of non-Redstone related videos on a new second channel, and any non-Minecraft related videos on another channel further removed from that. Though I may bring ideas across each one of them as a periodic form of self-promotion, but generally each one will stick to its designated niche, so long as I have no way of crossing over those niches through some creative idea like redstone traps on a PvP server or something along those lines. With all those things I wanted to say out of the way, if you liked the video, or the build in the video, please be sure to leave a like on the video. And if you want to see more Redstone content on this channel, then please do subscribe. But if you want to see more PvP content from me, then please do check out my new channel when I finally upload there, and I will see you later. Goodbye for now.